everybody and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and it is a bank holiday and my hair is fluffy. Today is Friday and we have a public holiday on Monday, so I'm actually off work today and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. I'm so excited. We take it in turns in my team to take an extra day of annual leave when there's a public holiday, and it was my turn, so I have a 4-day weekend. And what better way to spend that than with reading some amazing, hopefully, books. I also have plans to do something with my new bookshelves, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed trying to work out how I'm gonna order them, but I will. That's my number one goal for this time off, is to do my bookshelves, but also read some books. The first book I'm planning to read is Spring by Ali Smith, because it feels seasonally appropriate to be reading this in May. Do I know what this book is about? Not really. But this is book 3 in the seasonal quartet, and each of the books have kind of loosely featured like multiple timelines, and they've been utterly charming, and they've all kind of featured artists as well. So I'm assuming there may be multiple timelines, there may be an artist. Once I've read some of this, I will let you know what it's about and what my thoughts are regarding it. I am also, because it's the day off, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to get a nice takeaway for lunch, maybe watch a film, just kind of decompress from the week at work and read my book. The ultimate goal is that I'm going to read 4 books in 4 days. But, I mean, is that going to happen? I don't know. I'll find out, and you'll find out. We'll both know. I will come back when I know anything about this book. I have got myself some yo sushi for lunch. I am watching a trashy reality TV show on Netflix, and this is what I'm gonna eat. I haven't had breakfast, so I'm super hungry. I have got the Anari pockets. These are my favorite things of all sushi. My top hits sushi, and I should have some fried chicken, but I have 2 boxes. I have a pumpkin katsu. That's okay. Are you my chicken? Yes. Oh, Japanese fried chicken is my absolute weakness. Okay, according to my receipt, this was free. Yay. I'm so excited. I'm so hungry. I haven't had breakfast. I'm gonna go and eat a lot. That's pretty. Happy Saturday. I am up early. We had our food delivery this morning, so I got to start my day with a fresh almond croissant, which is arguably one of the best ways to start a day. It was delicious. It was also one of the prettiest croissants I've ever seen. It came in a pack of 2 from the fresh bakery section. The other one was not as pretty, but was just as delicious, I think. I didn't eat the other one, but I can only imagine they were both tasty. I have also finished reading Spring by Ali Smith. I meant to finish it last night, but I went to sleep instead. And I finished it this morning with my aforementioned croissant and a lot of coffee. This book has 2 main narratives. We have Richard, who is an elderly filmmaker. He has just lost his best friend in the whole world, and he's just he's not in a good place. He's feeling absolutely just lost and hopped upon a train to the furthest place that he could find on the ticket option, which was Inverness in Scotland. We also have Brittany, but she goes by Brit, who works in an immigration removal centre, and she one day comes across a young girl who's only 12. Her name is Florence. She meets her at the train station and ends up accompanying her up to Inverness. This book is utterly just gorgeous. My throat is going. This book is just gorgeous to read. It's very beautifully written, very poetic, but it also touches on a lot of real subjects. Like, of course, we've got a character who works in an immigration centre, an immigration removal centre. That is obviously addressed, and it makes for some very uncomfortable reading, the way that the people who work there view the people who don't deserve to be locked up, and the way that the people who work there treat the people is just horrific. It's inhumane, and they don't treat them well, and it was very difficult to read, but I also think very important to read. And I love the way that this book kind of had almost like vignettes where it just had totally different things happening, but everything kind of mixed together. These are very strange books. This entire collection are almost dreamlike in the way that it feels when you're reading it. Like, wait, none of these things are related. Why am I hopping about through time, through narratives, through emotions? But when you get to the end, everything kind of slots together. And in this book, I got a little bit of a nod to one of the previous books. So I wonder if upon further rereads of the series, and of course when I finish it, I've still got one to go, am I going to notice more links, more puzzle pieces that go together? I just think this is a very clever book. It's very beautifully written. It's very passionate, and it just kind of merges together a lot of different feelings, and also addresses, as I think all of the books have, Brexit, which I think I said when I read the first book in the series, I'm Scottish, so the reaction to Brexit in Scotland, based on everything I've read, was very different to the reaction in England. The majority vote in Scotland was to remain in the European Union. So it's very interesting sort of reading a book where the general feeling was a little bit different. I really love the way that this book also kind of pointed out just the basic human desire to have somewhere to call home, and somewhere to belong, somewhere to feel safe, wanted, and but mainly just that security. And I thought it was just such a powerful book, and it's just such a strange collection that I find it really hard. The book is not chipper, it's not upbeat. It's got some very heartbreaking moments, and a lot of things happen in this book that made me just sort of feel very, very sad. And I did not end this feeling happy or joyful, but it wasn't, despite having those sad elements, I wasn't left feeling like down. I was still left feeling like maybe there was a little bit of hope left in the world. But it just made me realize that this series is so beloved, and I'm only 3/4 of the way through, and I agree that this series is so powerful. And just Ali Smith's writing, it's amazing, it's gorgeous. If I were to tab this book, it would just become all tabs because it's gorgeous. Even though I said this book didn't leave me, feeling crestfallen and like I was just broken, I am wary about my next book because I know what I want to read, and that book's gonna make me cry. I know it. I cry everything anyway, but I know that the book I want to read next is going to break me, and I don't want to be broken right now. I would like something to lift me and, put me in a lovely, happy place on what is an extremely grey day. So I have two options for my next read. Option number one is a little out of my comfort zone. A Proposal They Can't Regret. A gorgeous floppy paperback. Love it. This is by Natalie. Caña. This is a romance. As you could probably see by the two very attractive people looking at each other longingly across that table. This is a romance between two children of restaurant owners. We have a Puerto Rican female main character and an Irish male main character, and they have to basically, to save their family's livelihoods, get married, but they can't stand each other because they're, I don't know, secretly in love perhaps. So they decide to do some fake dating, and this book does say on the front cover, this book bursts with humor, heat, love and family. So I think this is going to give me some chuckles, which I wouldn't say no to. My alternative book has a story. It's called Hello Kitty Must Die by Angela S. Choi. This is my old copy from 2010. I was having a chat with a friend who was like, oh, I read a book that you told me about ages ago and it was really good. And I was like, that sounds like something I would do. What book was it? And she said this book. And I was like, it sounds like something I would enjoy, but I don't remember reading it. And then like months later, I was tidying up and I found this book amongst a pile of other books and was like, well, I have it. And it's clearly been read. And this is a book that came out at the time, so it's not like a new edition. And I don't remember reading this. I've had about 6 concussions since 2010, so there is a chance that I have read this and I just don't remember. Roller derby gave me all those concussions, but it also gave me really strong leg muscles. So this book, again, sounds like my perfect kind of thing. This book is about Fiona, who feels kind of torn between her traditional Chinese family values and the societal expectations of being an American woman. She is reunited with an old friend of hers called Sean, who kind of introduces her to a little bit of excitement in the form of danger, and they kind of end up perhaps going a bit too far. So I'm between these two. I'm torn because apparently I previously raved about this book and this sounds cute. So probably going to read both of them over the spell of this long weekend, but I don't know. This one's shorter, so maybe I'll start with this one. I have to go out to the library now. It is horrible. The cat is gorgeous and asleep, so my partner's gonna have to stay home because we can't leave the cat alone because he's not ours. So I will have to fly solo. I'm not gonna read it this weekend. I just don't have any other time to go and pick it up before it gets sent back from whence it came. So I'm gonna go to the library, even though it's drizzly, grey. Don't know if it's overly cold. What a lovely day. I am back from the library and I have my treats and I don't know if they've survived the journey, but they might. So what do we have? The library's next to a bakery. Yay! Don't know if they've really survived. I have a Biscoff donut for you. And I have a kind of squished looking cow fondant fancy for me. And then we have pies. We've got chicken and skirly pies, which are cold and we'll heat them up in the air fryer. And we have steak pies. Again, they're cold, so they're going in the air fryer for lunch, maybe?
Sounds good.
And then, so my boyfriend's washing dishes and he can't see what I have, but I also got us these. I will show them later. And then I got my book, Tender is the Flesh, which I may or may not read this weekend. We will find out. It's Monday. I did not film yesterday. I got a migraine. I went out to the library in what I knew was migraine weather, but I went regardless. I got really sick on Saturday night and then spent most of yesterday, most of Sunday in bed. I didn't manage to drink anything until almost 5 p.m. because I just felt like I was going to be sick. So not a great deal of reading was done yesterday, but I did finish my book on Saturday. I finished Hello Kitty Must Die. The second I started reading it, all came flooding back to me. I remembered this book and I remembered how much I loved it. As I was reading it, I was like, oh yeah, this is the book with that. And I was chatting to my boyfriend about the ending because I was like, I need to tell people about this, but in a way that doesn't spoil a book. So I know he's not going to read it. And I was telling him about it and he was like, you have told me about this ending of a book before. So I've read it. I've read it at some point in the last 10 years. So definitely read it. But I didn't used to log books that accurately on Goodreads until maybe 2019. So there's a lot of books I just didn't log. I just read, went on with my life. And because of that, I now forget when I have and haven't read books. So in this book, we have Fiona, who is a lawyer. And to her, Hello Kitty represents everything that she basically hates. Everything that she feels that Hello Kitty encompasses all of the expectations put upon her. And she is trying to deal with both her cultural expectations and her societal expectations. And she is reunited with her old school friend, Sean. And Sean was expelled from her school as a very young boy because he set a bully on fire. Sean kills people, and Fee seems okay with this. She's very much aware of the fact that Sean is killing people and he's getting away with it. He is a wealthy, handsome doctor and nobody's looking for him. And Fee finds herself engaged. Her parents are just, they want her to get married. She's 28 and they're like, come on. And she doesn't want to get married. She doesn't want to be with anyone. She just wants to be herself. She's got a parakeet. She just wants to be alone. But her parents kind of not force her, but gently persuade her to go on all of these dates. And the men she ends up dating, they don't have good times. A lot of them don't make it out alive. And this book was just so... It was dark. Of course it was dark. With a plot like this, how could it not be? But it was charming and it was witty, and I know why I loved this book and why I recommended it to so many people that I knew would love a just twisted tale of almost like peer pressure gone just too far. But I loved this, and I found the characters really lovable. It's super short, but there is enough time to be like, I see why Sean's getting away with this. Yeah, he's charming, a charming fellow to all but like one person who doesn't fall for his charm. This book does not seem to be super popular right now. I don't believe the author has written, she's written 2 books that I can find, but I highly recommend this book. If you like a kind of murdery romp with some chuckles that's very, very light-hearted, but also kind of includes some very quite sweet family moments, then I recommend this book. It's a very quick read and I managed to get this read very early on Saturday. So I have made progress in the book I plan to read on Sunday. I'm not getting 4 books read this weekend, this long weekend, because, well, it's Monday and it's already lunchtime. I spent the morning doing my bookcases and I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. Who are these people that redo their bookshelves every week? How do they have the energy for that? Oh, so my plans for the rest of the day are I'm going to finish my current read, which is A Proposal They Can't Refuse by Natalie, Caña. This is a fake dating romance, which I'm about 100 pages into it, so a third through, and I'm loving it. It's these 2 people, they kind of grew up together, and their grandfathers have decided, we want you to get married. Otherwise, we're going to sell the family businesses. And Liam, his grandfather is dying. So it's kind of his last wish. And these two characters do not want to get married. They used to be besties as children and teenagers, but something happened. I don't know what happened, not yet. And they went from being super besties to hating the ground each other walks on. So I'm excited to find out what happened there. But they're currently fake dating because they very wisely pointed out nobody would buy it if we said we were getting married. They wouldn't buy it. We need to kind of lay the foundations first. I'm loving the grandparents, the granddads. My secret weakness is a sassy, cheeky grandparent character. I'm having such a good time. I am going to come back when I finish this. So I am fairly certain, I can't quite say, but I'm fairly certain I have panda eyes right now from all the crying I did at the end of A Proposal You Can't Refuse. I sobbed through 4 tissues, which I think for a normal crier, that's maybe 2. I cry. I'm very emotional. I cry a lot, especially at books. Oh, my wee heart. I loved this book. This was a adorable romance where both of the main characters, Camilla and Liam, were flawed. They had their own flaws, but they had been in each other's lives since they were babies. And I just really liked how they kind of were forced to deal with their own demons. So Liam was still dealing with the death of his father. It was still just extremely raw. He had a lot of anger and emotion there. In this book, he kind of learned how to deal with those feelings rather than, you know, pushing feelings away. It doesn't help. You need to do something about it. And he learned that in this book, and he kind of learned how to show his affections rather than thinking that if he loves somebody they're gonna leave him. And Camilla had always kind of put her family first, which is lovely, but not if it means putting yourself last. You're part of your family, you get to be first too. And she had kind of been hiding a huge secret for a long time, and she was just racked with guilt, and she kind of got to deal with that too. I love these two together, and they're a kind of pairing that you're like, oh, we all know that you two are perfect for each other. My nose is so red from my crying. I absolutely adored their romance. I loved all of the mentions of food. I don't know what some of it is, and I want to find out, and I want to eat it because it all sounded delicious. I absolutely loved both of the grandfather characters. I am a sucker for an older character who's just up to hijinks, up to no good. Like, we are introduced to the grandfathers at their care home where Camilla and Liam have been called in because these two 80-year-old men just cannot behave, and they're causing chaos in their care home. And I just instantly loved them. I'm not usually, am I? I always say I'm not hugely into reading romance, just plain romance with no, you know, no fantasy, no magic or mystery or things like that. But I don't know, maybe I might be entering a phase of my life where I love a cute romance, because I love this. And there are 2 more books in the series, and I am hopeful that there will be more, because this is a huge family. There's a mischievous grandfather who he needs things to do. What better thing to do than pair off his adult grandkids? And I think it's going to just be a charming series, and I cannot wait to read more of them. I can't believe how quickly I whizzed through this book. There were some smutty bits which I didn't expect, and I suppose on the front it does say there's heat, so I didn't know. I never know when to expect the spice or not. So there's a little bit in here and I was like, ha ha ha, cackling away like a wee mad witch. I had a great time with this, and I think this is the perfect book to sort of end my long weekend with, because it was just, I was charmed. I was charmed by it, loved it. So I didn't reach my goal of reading 4 books over this bank holiday because of silly migraine, but I read 3 and they were all fantastic reads, all greatly enjoyed by me, and I fully intend to reread all of them as time goes by. I highly recommend all of these books. There's something here for everyone, I think. Now I am off to go and make a curry for our dinner, and I suppose get ready for going back to work tomorrow. Let me know what you've been reading recently and if you have enjoyed it, if you recommend, and thank you so much for watching.